Okay, great. So this is the MDM 650 Group G Design Discussion, March 28th. I have Natalie and Ashley here.
Oh,
And
hmm.
who wants to start? So our first question is discuss the lecture content, learning sources provided, sources of information and discovered in your research that had an impact on your understanding of the projects completed in this class. Oh, do you guys want to mute yourselves unless you're talking?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I got background noise here.
Thanks. Okay. So, who wants to go first? Talk about how your view as a designer has changed. Well, I guess I'll go first. So, um, I would say after the course content in this class, it kind of makes me look at things a little bit differently as we branch into more like virtual reality and augmented reality platforms. I think the technology is going to really expand really fast. So that's kind of something that was put into perspective going through this research. Um, Anybody else?
Yeah, I see this blast of technology and all of these potential channels. And I remember sitting on the other side of the table when I was in marketing, and it always sounds interesting, but I always want to see like, hey, I'm buying your services. What is this going to be effective? And so I was torn between the pursuit of being a designer in media and my old marketing personality of questioning everything that comes at me because uh, you know is it gonna do the job is the question. So I did a lot of background work. I got distracted into doing background work to see what's the rate of returns on these things. So like Cloverfield's a rate of return was like 5,000% or something estimated. And there's other proof of concepts out there from actual implementation. So I just see the importance of really understanding where your audience is. That linkage because if they're savvy enough to attract to some of these types of um, media channels, that's great. But I think the research on audiences and the behavioral aspects of your target audience just becomes more crucial to the process. I keep getting back to like the importance of research keeps being a driver for me. The criticality of really knowing what you're going after.
Mm, I would say, I don't know. In this class, it was a challenge for me. I agree with both of what you said, like learning the different aspects and how to connect with your audience, just aside from the overall look and feel of everything, like how does it benefit those that are coming in contact with your product, and being consistent throughout. Um, I kind of struggle with that, even though it may not have looked like that when looking at my final product. But I realized in like when we had to do, and I'm probably jumping ahead at one of the questions, but when we had to submit our schedule, and she would always tell us, "Hey, if you changed it, like resubmit it." And I realized that I needed more time for research because research is important. It'll give you a backstory on what it is that you're trying to push out and roll out. So, um, a lot of my frustration was coming in with the research and how do I apply the research material into my design, and how do I make it pliable for my target audience, and making sure that there is a consistent flow and you know, it will provide the need that or the message that I'm trying to portray. It'll, do just that, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I agree that research, it's almost like you have to do like maybe 60/40,
Yeah.
more research than actual design,
Hmm.
as far as the imaging or the video itself. You're going to spend more time doing research than perfecting it once you've figured out what you want to do.
Right.
I
And
mean, it seems like it could be more fun than I thought it was going to be in some ways. Some of the world building and in some of these immersive technologies or games or whatever it is, it can be very dynamic. Uh, if it's growing in those directions. I just maybe I'm not the person who's the target of some of these things. And that goes back again. You can't think of your own personal preferences. You have to understand what's going on in the market.
Right. That I agree with that part because I will always put myself in it and be like, "Oh, I like this," or I can relate to this and this type of thing, and I'm like, I'm not the target audience, so
mhm.
I have to try to remember to kind of like put myself out of it. Like my opinion doesn't matter. It does, but I'm not the sole target, and so that was also a challenge I had also.
Yeah, I think kind of knowing the target audience, I think that's probably why we start with it in the creative brief, because
Mhm.
everything kind of branches off of, you know, those um those demographics really.
And
Uh,
attribute.
you know, so a brand that came to mind, um as far as like the concepts discussed in this course, and um one that came to my mind was the Pepsi commercials. And when I saw this, I just thought it was such intriguing marketing. Um, and so, as far as video commercials go, this is one of my favorites. I'll play it for you.
You're not the only one. This can be heavy. Tell me about your mother. I want to break free.
I don't know if you guys have seen that before. Could you hear it okay?
I have, yeah, I
Oh,
have it.
okay.
I've seen some of it, like especially the part where he's trying to decide like which one is which.
Yeah, in the beginning.
But I've never seen the whole thing. But um, oh,
Yeah, I was pretty surprised actually. I was like, whoa, that was pretty bold of Pepsi, but what they're trying to do is get people who drink Coke to try Pepsi, and they're
dang.
like, that's who we're going after. And yeah, like when the bear walks down the street and you can just see in his face that he just like is questioning everything about his life. Like it's so relatable. Um, I found it to be a great commercial, and I think overall it's probably a good marketing tactic to not just think about like who might enjoy your product, but also like who chooses other products and why do they choose those products? So then how can you convince them to choose your product instead? I think that's what really makes a difference, because there's always going to be an infinite amount of brands for each product, really. I mean, how many makeup brands are there, for example? But you have to have that one thing that sets you apart from the others. to attract people from other brands too.
I
Um,
mean, during my research, I found a couple of companies that have used these kind of immersive campaigns for advertising or engagement. Dove was one of them. Oreo cookies. Uh, there were a couple others. None of them. I guess I'm not being marketed to anymore. I don't know. And that was just 2025. There's a whole slew of them out there. So um, all were a surprise to me.
think the brand that, while we were discussing it, y'all have heard of Pokemon Go?
Oh
yeah.
That
yeah, yeah.
that was one that came to my mind real quick.
Oh yeah.
I said that's I don't know. I mean, that would be virtual reality, right? I mean, I know because
Hmm.
when I think of virtual, I'm thinking like the things that we put on our eyes and it kind of makes us feel like we're there. But as far as Pokemon Go, I think that's more maybe augmented. Correct me if I'm wrong, because we're not necessarily within, like we're in the space, but we're not within the space because, you're walking around looking for the quote unquote uh Pokemon, things, characters. But it's not like you're set in it when you're wearing those like VR things and you feel it like you're in the environment.
Yeah, I think that's augmented. I mean,
Okay.
because it's adding components to your real to the actual
To
world
reality. Right. Okay.
instead of replacing it. Like I've been to a museum here where I did the virtual reality classes, and like the whole like you got to be careful. They have boundaries where you can walk because you'll bump into stuff. If you take if you're just living in virtual reality, you can hurt yourself
Right.
in the real world. But you totally lose track of the real world. It's pretty wild. It really is kind of um, amazing. I don't know where they go with it from there, um, but yeah, I don't think it's as easily accessible these days yet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Augmented, you could do on your phone. You
Hmm.
could do on your like mobile devices are great. Yeah, there's all kinds of
Yeah.
applications through mobile devices and cameras
You know what? That just
that
made
can be
me think of
used.
another one. Like, so augmented reality is so it's like when it's a real world, but it's like an overlay. So yeah, Pokemon Go would be augmented reality. And another thing, I forgot all about it, but you know how you can try on clothes like through the Amazon app, and I know some
Oh
other apps do it,
yeah.
and like the makeup, you can try on like makeup and hairstyles and even the Snapchat filters. Like those are actually augmented reality
Those are
too.
augmented. Yep.
And you know, like when you think about Snapchat, like I only use Snapchat for the filters. Like how many other people are just using it for the filters? Like I remember that was the thing that made us all start using chat or Snapchat
Right.
was because we wanted to make funny videos with their filters. So, you know, that brand has just exploded for that reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. That's how I got dragged into it. But then I don't know. I've cut back on that as well. It was, and then there's more practical things like IKEA. You can on their app, I think, or in the past, you could see what a couch looks like in your living room.
In your house,
Through
yeah.
your camera,
Hmm.
your mobile device, and you can see what it looks like and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Amazon does that too, where you
Amazon
can
does
put
that
almost,
too.
yeah.
Are they doing that now? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's useful stuff. There's fun stuff. I mean, it goes. It's a real Um, there's a wide span there.
Okay, so any challenges we encountered when completing your brand projects? Mm,
I feel like I've talked about that already.
yeah, anybody want to go first or go next? Go. I'm
I
thinking.
can go. It's
Okay, go
cool.
ahead.
Aside from what I said earlier, I know. One of the big challenges for me was when I had to redo, well, I made myself redo it, but I'm glad I did. Redo my logo animation. Because After Effects, we don't get along as much as I thought we do. It's just a lot with any program within Adobe. It's a lot to learn, especially within so little time, even though a month sounds like a long time, but it's really not, especially when we, get a week for said projects or however we lined it up in our schedule. But I would say that pushing through and learning the basic tools of After Effects and learning how to make so for my thing, obviously it was the needle and thread. And so making it look like it was just kind of not necessarily stitching on the page, but it looked like it was just kind of flowing throughout the entire page and working itself together in my initial brand logo animation, it wasn't as an easy flow. So I would say, again, going back to the research part of it, that was helpful. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I read up on a lot of articles. Um, Even TikTok helped. Like I'll use anything that'll help me understand it. So I was, glad to encounter those challenges because, if we encounter challenges, it's just going to make us 10 times better in whatever we're struggling in, I feel. So, I mean, I was grateful for the challenges. I hated them because it took up a lot of time that I needed to do other things, but I'm grateful for them nonetheless.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, definitely the platforms like Premiere and After Effects. It just doesn't seem like I use them nearly as much as I use Illustrator or Photoshop or even InDesign now. Um, so I'm always trying to go through tutorials and find different options for what I'm imagining to try and implement that. Um, so yeah, it always feels like I'm trying to learn something new every time I create something different. So
Oh, it's
it's good
totally
to be though.
iterative. Everything you accomplish, I find myself going back and having to educate myself on
Hmm.
something. And the breadth of skills, it's not just design skills. You've got, baked in management skills, true technical skills, relationship skills. There's just, there's this breadth, and then the amount of time to accomplish this for me is tight. It's like I'm continuing to realize I got to get something done for the due date, and I'm going to continue to work on it for my portfolio, because I'm not happy.
Uh-oh.
Um,
You
Anybody
froze.
want to say anything else?
Um, I don't think she was done, to be honest.
Oh,
I
did
think
she?
it's frozen.
Oh, I can't see because
Yeah.
I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
let me
you're
stop
good.
sharing.
Yeah, it froze
Oh, okay.
mid-sentence.
I thought maybe she wasn't done.
No.
Hang on. Maybe I can pause recording.
Hopefully she can come back in.
No, I didn't see how to stop recording.
You said you paused
Oh,
it.
no.
Come back.
Natalie, are you there?
Oh no.
Oh, we lost her again.
I lost
Okay,
her
I'm
again.
gonna pause recording.
I could, I got cut off, but I'll just recap. There's just the breadth of competencies required is across the board. It's really a pretty high level um, set of skills. As I said, design, management, relationship management. It, it, you're not just a subject matter expert. So it's just a lot to keep up with. So it's it's got with the time commitments we have, I just find it difficult. That's the biggest challenge.
Hmm.
Okay. And then do you want to go ahead and share our work for this month?
Yeah.
All right, who
Mm.
wants to go?
Who wants to go first?
I can share mine.
All right,
I
go ahead,
know.
Esther.
I sound so excited. Okay, hold on. I thought I had it up. think I still. All right. Maybe I should do it in the.
I can go.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. I thought I was ready. I'm not.
So can you see my multi-platform delivery screen?
Yep.
Mm,
All right, what are we going over? Are we going over the assets?
your decisions. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Um, so I chose, well, we had the required assets, and then I chose a brochure and some swag. And I didn't do a website for a number of reasons because I have a long history doing websites, and I would get sucked into it. Um, and I wanted to think about the audience I'm going for. There is a huge possibility of reaching people via what's called radio ads, and it is still broadcast on radios, but usually the distributors now also go to other programmatic, so they'll find places in podcasts, just other types of like digital listeners as well. And I like the number of iHeart radios that can reach like 270 million people through their radio broadcasting, the broadcast plus the programmatic. So there's a huge reach there. And then for certain stations like NPR, you'll get higher quality people. So I went with that. Um, uh, so I don't know. I went with, I'm scrolling. I don't know where I'm at. So I did the letter packaging,
Hmm.
which is not a problem, but I had to tool around with bleeds and things like that. And it's just not secondhand to me. I know how to do it, but it's not something I do every day right now. So I played around with it till I got it right, mostly. The final version's better, but I wanted to have some of the graphics go to the edge, so you got to use the bleed zone. And then I struggled with. You see, it's blank here because I was thinking templates. I wasn't thinking about rendering. So so it's just like every time I find something, I'd learn something new. I think. Did you guys see my video for the?
Yeah. I think we. Oh
You can
no.
No,
play it.
it's not going to send me there.
Oh,
Yeah, I got my VPN on. That causes problems. I'm not going to be able to play video right now
Mm,
because I'd have to relog in, and it's the only way I can drill through the network I'm on to get to what I need to get to most of the time. Um, so here's the letterhead. So what I did is I created a template for printing, and then you throw the pre-printed paper into your office printer, and then use a word-specific template that's got the same setup as the actual stationery. So it'll keep your letter where it needs to be without interrupting the graphics or the header. So it's just adjusted so that it matches up. It's got the right um, font selection, so it matches up. Um, so it matches up with the actual design work. So your fonts have to be also in Word as well. I just kept it simple. The types of There's ways to go with business cards, so I went with something pretty simple there too, just with an email and on the back QR code website basically, plus address, phone number, but nothing. Um, no social media links. It's a public speaking event, so we're looking for people to show up in person. So I kind of downplay all the other connectivity because we want people to show up. Everything's going to be in person. The speaking's in person. The audience is in person. So I steered away from too much reliance on a regular connection with social media. Although tactically there might be some things there.
I have a question.
Sure.
The right there, your business card is good. I was wondering, so the front is more like on the horizontal side, and then the back. Is it vertical? And the only reason why, when I say vertical, like the business card is standing upright instead of sideways, because of the writing on the back side is sideways instead of horizontal.
Yeah. See, the whole thing is a QR code, so it is sideways, but
Hmm.
it's just there for reference in case somebody can't scan the code, basically. Then they can
Okay.
take a look and
Okay.
type it in. But the whole idea is that
The
you
Q.
scan the QR code and that brings you right to uh, the website.
Got you. Okay.
So this is secondary, so I figured it's not critical. And for space, I figured um, putting it on like that's not a problem. And you can always turn the card. And it is uh, in this case, it's planned to be a physical business card, not a digital one.
Right.
Um, then for social media, I wanted to get creative, but I realized after the first review, listen, these are just small profile photos. So I went back to keeping it simple. I did a couple of different versions for the profile. I just used the logo. And then for headers and things, I put in the tagline with the pattern that I keep getting flack from our instructor on. I'm committed, you know. The pattern was like very early on, I'm totally committed to it. So I gave these are all signs of wisdom, the ancient signs of wisdom. It's a speakers organization, they're idea creators. So I thought it fit, and there's purpose behind it. It's just kind of not crystal clear to people because they're not common. They're old school semiotics. They're not on roadsides today. So, and then I put together a sample post, which just has a pretty simple offer. Uh, and if you have an idea, a dream, and a desire to promote within a fellowship of collective cooperation, we warmly invite you to join us for your public speech with a website connection there, uh, uh, written out, not in QR code form. All I know is we're trying to hit all these mediums in a month. I got to the point where I started creating like subsets. So like this is now a tagline block that could be used in multiple places. So this tagline block could be used also in social media, perhaps. Um, so I know that I used to handle. I was responsible for media assets, digital marketing assets, and I know how it works. But I didn't. I did it from a receiving side, not the actual agency side or design side. So I just started coming back, like building a componentized system of assets that then can be repurposed as necessary. It just makes everything faster. And if I had done that from the beginning, I probably would have gotten things done on time, you know. So that's the outside of the brochure. This is what you see first, then you open and you see that, and then the other's the back. You see that last, and then inside you would get this kind of in maybe not the whole proper order, but once you open it up, you've got the full left to right chunked explanation of what it's about. And since it's a speaking organization, I didn't use there's not too many graphics related to it. There's just a few. The mug, I went with the swag. What do you think? Would you drink out of a mug with that like that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
When I first saw
Again,
it,
again, here's the block. Now I'm starting to use the blocks of content, so it gets easier and easier. And then you can see my blocks of content again, so it just starts getting smoothly. I dressed these up a bit. Um, I'm not going to go with photorealistic because that from the very beginning, illustration was going to be a big component in this. So I stuck with the illustration. I did some shading and did some things to make it look a little more realistic and not completely flat, like flat design. So I thought least it gives it a better, a little bit more professional feel than just plain flat design. Um, for this purpose, I think it was a good move. What do you think?
Yeah, I noticed you changed it. Because the last time you had it laying flat, so I
Yeah,
did.
it was no
Which,
good. I don't know what
which
I was thinking. I think I was laying down when I did it. I don't know.
or looking at it sideways. Which
Yeah, I have no idea why I did it that way. This is so much better. You can see the front, the back. Makes sense,
right.
right?
Which one is the front as far as the shirt
The
wise?
shirt, the one with the scoop neck where you can see the back. So this
Oh,
is the front
no. I'm
and this
sorry.
is the back. You can't, I know you can't really tell, but um,
Okay.
I don't, I didn't want it to be like this could even be smaller, but I didn't want it to be like a t-shirt swag from a concert, where you just got this big thing on
Mm,
the front that I'm used to seeing. It just, I was thinking of like a smaller one, but I thought this would be kind of fun, because it's a long name. And then the back, I could plaster with the tagline block. And then the hat was opposite, just practicality purposes. There's more room on the front for the tagline block, and the length of the name can go around the back. So we got the name of the organization as well.
I would have
So
said you could have even like for the vertical because even with me looking at it, I had to like turn my head. But you could have done like the letters going like down. You know what I mean? Like if C
yeah,
and O. So so people are not turning their head to read it, even though I know what it is because I've seen it for a month. But for those who haven't seen it, and so they gotta like turn their heads, and you see people walking up trying to read the shirt. But I like the idea and the concept. I just would have, yeah, put the letters going down like vertically instead of
yeah,
horizontal.
I see what you mean. But I thought about it, but you lose
Hmm.
the. This is like a total word mark. So all of these
Oh,
letters
okay.
are shifted and things, and you lose. It would lose all that, and it would look like it would be something different, basically.
Got you.
So I kind of wanted to keep that together as
Word mark
um, for branding purposes, consistent with wherever you see it, you'll either see it with the logo in the middle or without it.
or without.
Um, and just an O, but it's still the same type of typeset adjustments are all there. So that's what I did there. And then I got lots of feedback from Ms. Kretz. I have a short and sweet radio script that I've practiced and I'm ready to record. So I'm going to do that recording tomorrow morning. I'm going to do all my recordings. I got to find a quiet place. I live with other people, so I have to
Mhm.
find a quiet place to do the official recording. There's always stuff going on here. And and then I did my presentation in Keynote. So I had to learn how about recording in Keynote. I need a quiet place for that as well. But it's a pretty cool tool actually. And it's more versatile than I thought it would be. The audio is especially nice recording in Keynote because if I have um, embedded videos, it picks up the embedded videos and it picks up the mic, both of them for the same recording, which is not like in QuickTime you can't do it that easily, and other things you can't collect interior and microphone at the same time. But it seems in Keynote it's built in, so I thought that was awesome. I might do more with Keynote just knowing that. If I'm doing things on the cheap. So that sums up this work that looks pretty simple now, but it took a lot of work to get there. It took a lot of work to get there. Simplifying, cutting away. I was like a sculptor. I threw everything on the board and I had to cut away till I got down to something that was acceptable, I think. So that's
It,
my story.
it was good. It was good. I saw the effort that you put into it. Um, I was gonna say something.
How do I stop sharing? That's the question. How do I go stop
Um,
sharing? I
okay.
got it. I'm out. I'm safe.
Next.
Safe.
All right, I can go. I think Angela's handling something. Uh, okay. Can you see my screen? Yes,
I can see.
you can see. Okay, so, um, Obviously, everybody did this one, so this was the stationery, and I hate that it's cutting off my social media, but with how I did it, it won't enlarge it, but my stationery and billboard. And so I did a lot of revamping, of course, after the feedback that was given in class from some of you and the professor. And so I'm glad I went back and redid it because when she first told me my feedback, I'm not gonna lie, I did get discouraged because I felt like I was just doing everything wrong and I thought I had to start over. But I had to just take a deep breath and kind of just handle things one at a time. So the consistency thing was a big issue for me because I was trying to like use so many different uh like materials or different designs and it wasn't flowing like she said. So when she realized, I think I don't know if it was you, Angela, or somebody made a note about me using a thread. It could have been the professor. And once I added, the threading around pretty much everything in my work and making sure the colors were consistent and it wasn't too busy. I know originally I had with the envelopes, they were dark. And I remember her saying, trying to do a mass rollout and print of envelopes, that's going to be a lot. So you might as well just stick with like a neutral color. So I did have a neutral color in my color scheme. Um, and so this is I'm gonna see if I can kind of blow it up. Probably not.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Oh,
It's just, it really can't, you really pulled it together.
yeah.
Um, it's just, it's so different. I think when you're doing the design, you want to be like you want to be creative, and then,
hmm
but from a viewer's perspective, it just
Yeah.
got better and better every time you kind of brought it down to simple clarity.
Thank you.
So I didn't see the same thing in my own stuff. I was getting a little crazy, and I had to be told that. But like, it's just that when you're doing the work, you're thinking differently. But
Yeah.
as a viewer, it's all fresh, and you want to that consistency absolutely matters, and it looks great
hmm
now. Yeah,
I don't know if you guys could see this page. Can you see this page or no?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to make it bigger. But basically, I just put the date here kind of off by itself. I probably should have put it uh somewhere close to the two or something. Now that I'm looking at it, I did not add the addressees information, so I have to go back and put that in there under the two part. And yeah, like you said, I just kept it simple. Simple is more, simple is better. So the only thing that really has a color to it is the front side of the business card. And then with the social media page, same thing. Tried to keep it simple but not overbearing. I feel like my logo fits perfectly in this little circle. I thought it would be from this angle, yes, it is very hard to read as far as like the wording on the outside, the independent thread part, but being that it's on top of the page, I figured, yeah, I can get away with it maybe. Um, but from this angle, I feel like the what was it called? The logo part of it, you can see it better than what I thought. I thought it would be too small. I did take out some lines. I don't know if you guys remember in the last class, or whatever class it was, I had more lines than what is shown now. So I simplified it even more. Kept with the color scheme. And then just kind of added, a little post here and there. Uh, and then the billboard mock-up, I felt like it fit. This looks like the background looks like it's in kind of like a busy sh city street life type of thing. So I figured it would fit with the overall idea of the brand as far as like clothing and being unique and bold. So I chose that. Um,
Yeah, but it's going to be on the side of a road in some highway situation. But
you're right.
that doesn't
You're
matter for
absolutely right.
presentation. That doesn't
Uh,
matter for presentation, though. Not for design presentation. We don't have to always hit reality.
you're right. Um, she did say something about me taking And now that I think about it, I wish I didn't do that. Like having the arrow and the www dot part, just having the independentthreads.org would have been enough. So I'm gonna go back and kind of readjust those as well. So that was what was that, week 2? And then week 3 was my swag and my logo animation. So this was easier than I thought, but still kind of hard. With the pins, I was thinking it was going to be too busy. I mean, I made the pins, at least the background color, as simple as possible because of the background of the, what you call it, the packaging, I guess, was so busy. So I tried to keep that simple. I think it kind of worked very well. I don't know, maybe you guys see something different than I do, but yeah, I tried to keep it everything just simple. And I feel simple is best. If I try to overcomplicate things, the viewers would get lost. I might lose my target audience. They don't know. I might be all over the place. Um, so I thought of some, I guess, taglines, as you will, for the brand, different ones. So be independent on your style, um, style without limits, on your look, that type of thing. I had a lot of fun creating the sketchbook covers. Um, that graphic part that looks like I don't want to say semicircles, but kind of like humps or whatever. I kind of got that from the overall needle and thread idea. I kind of just put them close together to make it look like that. That's where I got that idea from. And um yeah, everything was just kind of repurposed and reused, which is good. So I didn't have to really come up with anything new. The headscarf thing, that was fun to do. One just has independent threads all on it, and then the other one has the actual logo.
That's the whole point, though, is you don't want to redo it every time because there's so many different sizes and so many different channels.
Yeah,
When I was in marketing, I own the digital asset management system. We had, you know, retail locations doing advertisements in newspapers, and we wanted it all consistent with our brand. So we gave them access so they could just pull the pieces that
they
fit
need.
into their
Mhm.
needs, right? And in this
Yeah,
way, it was always the same to a viewer, to the audience, to the consumers. It was always uh, the same because you want that consistency instead of there's every store in every town doing something different because they
right.
feel creative, right? Which we didn't want. We don't want that. There's also we had legal implications to some of the wording on there. We had battery life statements that turned into. So we had needed all the advertisements to be exact, so we weren't liable for certain things as well. So it really makes sense, and it does because when you're doing advertisements, once you get rolled out, it's really great to just be able to pick and choose and grab the pieces to get the
Hmm.
message out fast.
Absolutely. So that was helpful. I didn't have to, recreate anything. Everything was just there. I just had to dissect and pick and choose what I needed for the asset I was doing. So that was the swag, and then this. Let me see the code. Now, I do remember her saying something about the harsh stop of the music going into the typing of the words.
Can you play
You
it
don't know.
again?
Yeah, I can play it again.
Sorry, it was just a little hard to hear the sound, so I was trying to catch.
Uh, do I need to press something to make sure? Well, I'll just make
No,
sure I'm.
my volume might have been too far down.
Okay, no problem. I can redo it. So I,
The
I played.
volume isn't coming through well, whatever for
It's
whatever
not.
Yeah,
reason.
for some
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
reason,
not
I
coming
don't
through
know
well.
why. It's
Yeah.
okay. well, what did you end up doing with the sound then, based on her
Um,
feedback?
I I'm still playing with it. It's like the harshness. I'm playing with the fade in and the fade out. So I don't think I have it like perfect how I want it, but it's not as hard. It's not of a harsh stop as it is now. Um, I'm really trying to get it to where y'all can hear it, but
Well, that would be my suggestion too, is just to, increase the fade out and maybe even decrease the fade in a little bit.
okay.
Because the fade out can be longer. It doesn't have to be even or anything, and the fade in can always be shorter.
Mm, okay. Mm, okay. Yeah, I'll look into that one. But I would say it's a lot better than the first logo animation I did. As far as like the flow and everything. Um, and then oh, and then of course week 4 is the commercial video. Um, I know you guys won't be able to hear it, but I'll still play it, and then if you have specific feedback, or if you don't, it's fine. Well, Natalie, oops, I remember your feedback, of course, with the logo, the harsh, not that, the background. I forgot to take that off. So
It was
I
an
did,
idea. It
no,
wasn't a
no, no,
heavy
I did
critique. It was
remove it,
just, yeah.
but I liked your idea about placing it on, having the last, I guess, clip being somewhat faded a little bit and having it kind of come up on top of it. I did like that idea.
Well, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
I am working on that. I'm not gonna,
Yeah, that's just, it's just, I felt like that would be awesome,
it would, no, you're right, it would
you
be.
know,
So that's why I'm working on it. It would be. Um,
Do you mean having the logo at the end, like overlay?
yeah, like yeah. So it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
kind of thought that too when I was watching it. So,
like the last scene would fade out and it would fade in
hmm
on top or something like that. So
yeah, I think that would look really good too.
now I remember her suggesting like something like a thread like flowing in between the shots. Now I don't know how to do that. I don't know if you guys know of a way to do that. Um, I've been looking to see like how to add that on top, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's still in work in progress. I'm gonna work on it tonight and tomorrow so I can get my video rationale done.
I am envious of your talents. I tell you,
Please
I
don't.
am.
Look,
I,
don't.
I'm just playing catch up. That's all. I mean, I'm not worried about getting there, but this one came together rather nicely, like I said.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Uh,
All right.
yeah, Ashley, I really like your designs. I think they have um really unified in this class, like leaps and bounds. It's really come together, and it's been really cool to watch it develop. When I saw your buttons, I was like, oh my gosh, like those just look amazing.
I
That is
was
such a good mock-up. I love the whole thing. So
and the
yeah,
funny thing is, I don't mean to cut you off.
no,
I
you're
was trying to get those, those buttons that look like they're not like those type of buttons. They're like metal
hmm
pins almost. I was trying to
hmm
do, but I didn't know I was struggling. So I said, you know what? Let me just, let me do some buttons. How about that? We'll just
very
go with
cute,
things.
very cute. The only thing I can think for your commercial as far as like a needle and thread. or something like that. What if, I don't know, maybe, and this might be for like future, but what if you
Mm.
got like an animation of a needle like sewing like on the screen? I feel like that's probably been created. Because like Adobe Stock has all kinds of videos like that. Like, just in general, like it seems like anything I look for, I can find already. Or even just creating it with AI. That might look kind of cool, just like as a maybe like half opacity thing like on the bottom of the screen. That might look kind of cool. That makes sense.
So kind of like scribbling almost across each page.
Yeah, almost like a not maybe like not
Well,
like the
not
whole
scribble,
thing.
but
But yeah, like sewing as if it was like sewing on the screen,
yeah,
but not like the whole time, just like every once in a while.
it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because you could use that. Actually, what you could do is you could use that like towards the beginning and it could like sew and then like sew the name, like as if it was stitching the name as it's sewing. And then that way the name will appear sooner in the commercial too.
Oh yeah, I do have to like adjust that last one because she said that can be confusing with the girl with the brand on it. Oh, let me stop sharing. Sorry. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay.
thank you.
But yeah, you can also get, like have um maybe one of the people like it says Independent Threads on their shirt,
Yeah,
and that's a way to show the brand name too.
I will definitely look into that. Thank you very much, the both of you.
Sorry, 1 second. I lost it. I moved. Okay, so there's this one. Okay, so this is you guys can see that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Right. That's
Um,
what's going on here.
okay, so we'll scroll down to so this is my mastery journal. And this is like some early brainstorming we did and the sketches. When I actually started doing this, I had like a lot of different ideas. So actually implementing them kind of changed and evolved over the time too. But I decided to do the video commercial and the billboard and ticket. I think which one I forget which ones were mandatory, but anyway, those are the ones I did. Um, and mm, so this was the ticket package. That was the other thing. So the ticket package, I basically just took a lot of the colors and kind of tied it into this. I think this is this is the image itself. And so I've integrated pieces of it and messed with the uh, like the overlay options and kind of morphed it into different elements on all these assets. So you'll kind of see it as a reoccurring thing. The billboard, I wanted it to be like subtle, not too like busy or anything like that. Just very simple, almost like a teaser. These were the original tickets. That was the original ticket package, and that was the original billboard. Actually, I need to switch those. But and then let's see. So then here's the social media post, and I thought it'd be clever to lay it out so that the picture is like actually together like a puzzle piece, but pretty simple. And then I developed this. I can't do I developed this little tiny logo based on my previous logo, which I actually didn't incorporate until here. So because I needed like a profile picture logo, I took well, the original one, sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Sorry, the original one from last class was this. So that's what I kind of worked with. And for the vision board, all I did was switch the facing of it so that it would face inward. Um, but I
How
wasn't
did
really
you
happy with this. Hmm?
how did you do the hair pieces?
Which
I've been
one?
meaning to ask you that. On
On
there.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, I drew them.
That's really good. Like,
Thanks.
no.
It took me like a really long time, and I can't even tell you how many times I tweaked them and moved them, and it's not that many pieces actually. Um, and I just like changed the wave of them over and over until I liked how it looked.
Oh, that's dope.
Thanks. Um, so yeah, so that was the original one, and then and I really didn't like when it was on the tickets. I was just like, I'm not really digging this logo anymore. So I was able to update it quite a bit. Um, and so I had a profile picture, which you'll be able to see bigger in a minute, but profile picture, and then I did another logo that's more, it's really more detailed, but for this, I thought it was more appropriate. So, um,
Yeah, and I like how you combine, what is that, like music, what you call those, like
yeah,
levels?
sound waves, yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
Um,
music levels.
I know you're good, you're good. Okay, and then so I was running behind this week. My son's birthday was this week, so it's been kind of chaos. But okay, so here is this is my logo animation. I don't have sound yet. So and I know one of the things I caught when I was watching it and during the live session and everything is like, they don't really seem cohesive. Like they're just kind of like on top of each other. And when I was putting it together, like it didn't really occur to me because I think I had originally thought that the lines would go away when the logo came in, but then when I was actually playing with it, I ended up not doing that and then I forgot. But so this is what I've changed it to now, and I'd love you guys to let me know what you think.
Yeah.
How did you get the wave pattern? Do you mind sharing?
No, not at all. So it's in, hang on, it's on the logo, yeah. So it's under effects, and then
Okay.
it's wave warp, and then these are the
Ah,
settings, but you can play with them, and yeah, so that's what's doing the actual logo waving, and then the oops, oh crap, hang on, as I mess everything up. I do change that. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to redo that. But anyway, the it's the wave warp.
okay.
The
Appreciate
the
that.
the the like the where
So
the logo is, not the lines. The lines are actually something else. The lines are actually I just had them scale. They're just scaling up and down, and then I put like a Gaussian blur on them,
okay.
and they're yeah like their opacity changes and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so that's that one, and then the commercial. I wanted to just be kind of really simple too, but I was kind of thinking like maybe the text went too fast. Um, yeah,
Maybe just a little bit. Mhm.
okay,
It's not like overly, you could
yeah,
read it, but you do have to kind of kind of read it fast.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Okay, so here's what I've got now. Because she also said like let's integrate the sound waves because I don't have the sound waves in this, but I do on other most elements actually. So I was able to find this and merge it together. But and then I played around with some of the text effects, but um I don't know. It still seems a little fast to me though. Maybe I can just make the whole thing longer.
It it seems a fine pace to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then for some reason this keeps defaulting, and I'm
and
not
I
sure
like how you
why.
built the waves in there because I did see Andrea, Ms. Katz's point about the tying it together, and that really keeps the waves. It just brings, the smoke back. It just keeps the whole thing kind of connected, and I see
Hmm.
that in your adjustments as well.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to play with that too because I don't think it does that in this one. But yeah, it doesn't. But it like keeps kind of defaulting to where this is like cut off on the side for some reason. I was able to get it to fix for the video though when I saved it. Anyway, so the sound I've started just putting together a little bit, but I haven't really. I'm not convinced on how it is so far. But I'll obviously have to trim up the ending. But what do you guys think? Were you able to hear it?
Yeah, because I think you're going directly from the app instead of through something else, so it came through loud and clear for me, and I think the music fits in perfectly.
Hmm. I think the it ties in also with the fog and the sound waves. I don't know, it just does something. Like it all works.
Cool. Thank you. Um, yeah, but that's it.
Mm.
Let me stop sharing. Let's see. Does anybody have anything else to say?
No, I mean it's a tremendous, great work as well. I see every time uh, our instructor gives me feedback, I just do it now because she's right.
Right.
Uh, I can think about it, and then I come to the same conclusion. So, actually, most of the critiques that have come back to me, I use some friends as well when they're available, are great. I've had nothing but great critiques that move me forward. So, I'm working with a bunch of professionals, and that's just the way it is. So, it's good. It's good to get um, important critical feedback, not uh, something wishy-washy or undecipherable.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really grateful for the feedback from the professors too.
Anybody want to do my commercial?
Oh, I see it for you. All right.
So,
Do you have it? Do you need to do you want to show us what you have so far?
not really. I don't.
Um, no, that's cool. Okay, well then I'll go ahead and stop recording.